Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be reacting to things that need to be removed from Siege going on into Siege X. Now, of course, I haven't made much Siege content on my channel, aka none, because I've been trying to solve that thing out and making stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to react to this, which would be considered our first Siege content stuff. Shout out to Kudos. Go watch his channel. Go subscribe because I'm reacting to his video. Full credit goes to him. These are all, well, these aren't all his ideas, but these are all his viewers' ideas. So, some of these might be his ideas, but knowing his channel, it's usually his viewers' ideas. Also, if I'm a bit muffled or any quieter, I lost my mic to my phone, which I'm recording this on, so yeah, I'm gonna be very, very quiet, and I'm bent over right now. Pause. I'm leaning over. I'm getting closer to my phone so I can talk. I needed to think of that and how to say that without being absolutely wrong. Anyways, let's get into the video, and I'll be pausing, putting my own input and things about these things, seeing what I agree with, what I don't agree with, and yeah.
So yesterday I asked everyone on Twitter what's something you would like to see Ubisoft change / leave behind going into Siege X. And you know me, I love a good community discussion, and I was really interested with some of the replies here. So drop a like if you enjoy, sub if you haven't, and let's get straight into this. So the first one, which a few people mentioned and something I heavily agree with, is the removal of yellow ping on cameras. This is something I've been advocating for years now, and let me explain why this is a feature.
Now I'm gonna just cut off there. Yellow ping on cameras is a very controversial thing, yes. But if we were to remove yellow pings from cameras, there should be like a whole... I don't think we should remove it per se. I think we should rework it for se. Cause say you're alive, you can only red ping, you can't yellow ping. But for those people that don't have mics and that are dead, yellow pings can actually be much more useful to them as well, because they don't have mics that can communicate with their own team when they're dead. So, yes, I get it, they can still red ping and stuff, but red pinging can sacrifice a camera that the alive people can use easily, but say you're dead, you red ping, the camera's gone. And say a Valk that's alive needs that camera to do a strategy that she's been planning out, and a dead person gets that camera destroyed. That's not that well. Hi, cat. Hi. Anyways, that was my cat. But yeah, I don't think that's that well of an idea, saying that yellow pings bring a lot to the team on defense and attack too, because that'll also affect attack as well. You see, I don't think it's that broken, to be completely honest, because it's something both teams can do, so it's completely fair for them to have it. Like, it would be one thing if only defense could do it and attack can't. Then yeah, that's some that can affect things. So there's a argument to why not to get rid of it per se, but a rework that you could do to help lower things is make red pings kind of like lion pings and alibi pings, where it pings you 3 times or so you can give out more precise location. Well, because just one red ping where the person was standing, it stays there, and the camera usually gets destroyed, so you're only able to ping them once and done. It's really not that well of information. That just makes cameras useless overall if no one can yellow ping things. thing with yellow pings is that you could actually do it constantly and give accurate pings without getting your camera destroyed. So I think they should rework the red pings and remove the yellow pings, but as well as keeping like the yellow ping mechanic in to where you can ping like attacker gadgets or defender gadgets with like pinging a Melusi trap or a Capcan or a breaching charge or claymore through the cameras. You can still like ping those with like the yellow ping mechanic with the button there. But you have to red ping to get the location of someone. That ping will last like 3 pings before going away, because to be honest, having only red pings and only have one ping and then the camera's destroyed can just defect the game a lot. It'll also just make cameras overly like useless per se. If someone doesn't have a mic and they are dead and there's someone flanking someone but that person doesn't know, and yeah, you can't, they'll red ping and boom, they're dead. The person knows that they're over there, but they don't know where they're going to come from next. Say there's somewhere where there's multiple entrances and multiple different areas where they can move around. They don't know where the person's going to go from. So you're kind of screwed. But yeah. Should yellow pings get removed? No, not really. They're pretty balanced right now. Can it be reworked? Sure. Why not? Make it a bit more interesting. Give the community what they want. Give both sides of the argument what they want, and like make it easier for the game. It'll just really defect the game a lot. Just removing yellow pings altogether and just keeping the red ping as it is now, because to be completely honest, having a red pinging is just a waste of camera. Yes, you ping one location, but that person can move a couple steps and throw off your own teammate to where they're shooting at that location instantly. They're somewhere else, and your teammate's dead because they swung where they thought they were because of the red ping. That's why if they were to rework it, change it like Lion's scan or Alibi scan, where it pings you constantly with one click, or just one hold click, like a red ping is. Now, I get how that can like defect Alibi and things like that, but those are with their gadgets per se. Like maybe increase the amount of pings that they let out, and like increase and like make Alibi and Lion's things like 5 pings, and then have it as cameras have 3 and stuff. That'll balance out removal of yellow pings, or just keep them all together. Like nothing's really wrong with them being in the game. Yes, it's hard to tell that you have been pinged, but there's much more things that could be wrong as well. Like Jackal scan goes on for quite a while. Same with Lions and Alibis stuff. And there's really no counter to those except for like countering Jackal with Cav, Silent Step, countering Lion or Deimos with mute jammers or stuff like that. But there's really nothing to counter getting your camera destroyed with one ping. Like, yellow ping shouldn't. I'm gonna shut up now because I'm going all out on this.
A lot of us don't like. And also, let me clarify what I'm talking about so you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. So first and foremost, when you're standing there with your gun out and just walking around, yellow pinging is perfectly fine. This is great for giving intel to your teammates, precise locations, and helpful especially if you don't have a microphone. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this, and it is a great feature for the game. The issue comes from the fact that you can also do this when you're on drones, cameras, and any form of observation. observation utility, which wasn't always how this game worked. You never used to have yellow pings on cameras back in the day. Now, the reason why so many people, including myself, don't like that you can now do this on cameras is because it removed an entire aspect of the game, with that being red pinging. And to me, it falls into the category.
Okay, so red pinging does have a use alongside yellow pings. Yellow pings don't really identify the enemy, whereas red pings can. Like, yes, scanning their gadget and like pinging their gadget will scan them and reveal who's on their team. But say you have a cav or have a vigil or have a warden or have someone that doesn't have a physical gadget that you can actually ping but is considered on them, you can't really reveal them. So red pinging will give away their location, yes, give away your camera, yes, but will also bring the use of knowing who's on the enemy team. Same with things like attack and cameras on there. Ying's things can't really be pinged, so you can red ping to get a Ying. Ace's things can be pinged, but they explode way too quickly for a ping to go off. Really. I'm trying to think. Montang Blitz, Blackbeard, those things can't be pinged. Their shields can't be pinged out of their hand. God, that would be funny, though. Sledge's hammer, Thatcher's EMP grenade, Ash's thing, IQ's gadget, like, multiple gadgets can't be scanned, where you can't reveal who's on the enemy team to get prepared for them. So, red pinging does become a strong aspect to the thing. Yes, a lot of people don't like red pinging mainly because it gives away camera position. But in the end, red pinging on default cameras is not that bad, mainly because if you're going against people, they know where the default cameras are. They're going to shoot it no matter what, whether or not you red ping them or not. If you're even on the camera, they're going to shoot it. It's mainly like Valcams, Echo drones, any kind of like placeable cameras that are coming from a defender's gadget or a special drone like a Twitch or Bravo drone shouldn't really have, you shouldn't red ping on those. Things with also red pinging with things like that, along with Vigil and Cav, like, it helps out things like Deimos get to those roams and get Deimos his job to do is to roam clear. So having those roams scanned before the match starts really gives Deimos a chance to be selected and also be able to roam clear and figure out where those people are, instead of having to sacrifice someone from your team to reveal them, because yes, someone dying will reveal who killed them, but in the end, what's really the use of that? If you can red ping them and scan them and find out who they are instead of sacrificing one of your own teammates, really changes the fact of whether or not you're going to win or lose. So, yeah. Red pings also give something to the team. It's just most people overlook that.
Of if it's not broken, don't fix.
Now I'm putting something about that because I didn't really. Red pings do give something to the team. It's just that you need to know when to do them and how to do them. Don't do them out in the open. Clearly. And if you're doing them on something like a hidden Valcam, red ping them and instantly hop off the camera, because even when you're on the camera, it still shows off the color light, which will give away the camera, and when the camera's not being used, it will go completely black. So if it's in like a shaded area, they're not going to be able to find that as quickly. So, yeah. Yellow pings, red pings, they're simple and they're part of the game.
Because red pings were very balanced. You had the trade-off of having a live ping location given to your entire team as to where the enemy is, but the trade-off there was the enemy had a little notification on their screen telling them that they have been spotted. This meant if someone was playing on a Valkyrie...
Now, I already stated this before with red pings and stuff, how you can see it makes a red mark on where they're standing. Now, with this buck right here is standing still. That's yes, that could be simple, but in the end, this is a custom game, and this is, like, do whatever. This is 2 different accounts owned by the same person, or just 2 friends. I don't know what he really does. I'm pretty sure he does 2 different accounts in one game. Not everyone's just going to stand still and not shoot the camera. People are going to move, shoot the camera, and be off put from where the red mark is. So clearly that's not really that balanced. It's not balanced really, because you lose a camera, the red ping does absolutely nothing but ping a ground, because they'll move off the red ping unless it pings it constantly. Like a line skin or alibi, as I stated. But it does help a lot to have both yellow and red pings, because you can give a constant ping without getting your camera destroyed instantly. And even when you're on the camera, people still see it and shoot it. So there's not really much of an argument about having the camera, having yellow pings removed.
Camera, for example, and they want to give the precise location where someone is planting or where someone is currently standing, they had to red ping that enemy, giving that information, but also then the trade-off there and the risk is that the enemy now knows that they are exposed. And then years ago, Ubisoft implemented the feature of being able to do this yellow ping whilst on cameras, completely bypassing the need to even red ping and removing an entire aspect of risk and reward from observation tools. In my opinion, this just completely overlooked the red ping and introduced an issue which never existed before with observation tools, and that is...
You see, the whole risk and reward thing is still in the game, per se, because even getting on the camera reveals the camera, as you can watch the Valcam right now.
Pings without
if you watch the Valcam over here,
the entire
you see my hand pointing at it, you can see it flashing, people will instantly see that, and usually, if you're going for a brighter color than orange, red, or blue, where
now, I know I'm going to get some
people
comments from
do,
people saying, well...
I'm talking while the camera's going on. I'm going to state that. Reset that again. But if you look at the Valcam, you can see it's glowing orange, which is the camera, the color that the Valk is on. But if you have it set up like me, where I have the enemy team as blue and my team as red, is because of the whole factor that you'll be able to notice those cameras very easily because of the blue or red glow. Orange glow is a bit bland, like you can see with Valcam right there. When I see Valcams, they're going to be glowing blue, which is actually a very, very big change. It makes them blatantly obvious to me. So if you have that, if you have the defenders, if you have the English is not working one bit today. If you have the opposing team as the color blue and your team as red, it'll help make that Valcam stand out, or that camera standing out. So if you have that app applied, then there's no really change. You're still going to have the camera shot and things like that. Now, I know, like, my shows might be a bit overpowered with how you can normally melee them and can't fully destroy them unless you shoot them while the eye is open. But in the end, my extra cameras are still easy to counter with explosions. So yellow pings should still be in the game. They don't really bring much of a change.
A lot of us solo queue, a lot of us don't have microphones. It's actually very useful for us to do this. But my response there is, use the red ping then. It's not like there was never an option to be able to relay information from an observation tool without a microphone. That has always existed because the red ping feature is there. And of course, having a microphone would give you a bit of an advantage there, but it's not like you'd be able to call out the exact coordinate of the floor where that person is. Your best bet, even if you had a microphone that you could relay to your team information, your best bet was to still red ping to give them that accurate information. You already had the ability to relay info without using a microphone. It was done in a fair and balanced way because the enemy knew they were exposed, but you then gave that live ping to your teammate. Yellow pinging on cameras didn't solve any issues, it just created them. It is by all means a feature which made the game worse, and I agree with everyone saying that this should be left behind in Siege X. Very simply, keep yellow pings for your in-person view and keep red pings for your observation view. It makes the most sense, and I can't believe we're going into Siege X with this still being a feature. Okay, so although people may think that's a bit of a controversial take, it's not the most hottest take. That is quite a common view shared across the community. But this next one, which people have been commenting, is a hot take, which I also, again, agree with, and that is to remove map bans completely from ranked. Now, let this be known that I started in an era of Siege before map bans existed. I also started in an era of Siege before a lot of the maps which have been reworked since then were reworked. So I played old Chalet, I played old Canal, I played old Oregon, I played old everything pretty much. And there were a lot of maps I didn't like. In its current form, I love Chalet, but before the rework, I hated that map. You could hardly rappel on everything, you had that weird window on Kitchen. The map was a mess in my opinion. But because map bans didn't exist, I had to either learn the map if I wanted to win and get good at the map if I wanted to win, or I could just keep losing at the map and complain on Twitter all day. And I truly do believe, despite not liking the maps I was playing, it made me and the general player base as a whole better players, because it was get good or quit. And why would we want to quit? We love this game, and that was part of the joy as well. Even if you were playing a map you didn't like, it was fun to get good at the map so you could then beat your opponents at it. And I feel like years now of having map bans and people just comfort banning maps and not trying new maps and not learning new things, we've gotten to the point where the general player base is so significantly worse than it was 7 years ago, and it shows, you know? And I know we're going to bring up Rank 2.0, don't worry, but I'll be playing in ranked lobbies, in champion lobbies, and people will not know basic callouts on Nighthaven Labs, for example. They won't even understand basic operator synergies. I had to tell a champion Thermite in rank the other day not to place her Thermite charge in the middle of two walls whilst the bandit is tricking. And again, I'm not going to bash people for their skill at this game, but if this person is meant to be at the same rank and level I am, then I am going to judge them for that, because they're meant to know this stuff. The community and the general player base has been nurtured too much. They've not been pushed outside their comfort zone, they've not been forced to learn new things, and it has resulted in a stagnant map pool, and it's resulted in the general player base just not being as good across the board as they used to. You shouldn't be able to comfort ban your way to champion. I just don't think that's a good rank system at all. Either pull up your big boy boots and play whatever map is given to you. If you're good at the game, you should show me that you can be good at any map, or accept that and go play standard or remain in lower ranks. I don't think a competitive rank system should nurture you that much. That's just my opinion. There's other modes such as unranked and standard where you can play in a bit more of a casual aspect. I want ranked to be as competitive as possible, and I think with map bans, it heavily stagnates that and allows a lot of comfort banning.
Join Planet Fitness today.
Okay, so now that there's that, I'm gonna talk about that map bans. It's iffy, to be completely honest. But at the end, with how I play ranked and stuff, I usually get maps I don't like. Like, it's randomized. You ban maps, but you still get, like, pretty mid maps. Like, almost every time I play on ranked, I usually get maps like Skyscraper, Bank, Border, Coastline, and Canal, things like that. And people ban Bank and Canal, and it'll just be left with a random map of 3, which will just select a random map. So you still don't know what you're gonna get. You could still get a bad option, because there was 3 bad options. There's 4 bad options. Sorry. There's 2 bad options already. They banned, and then there's still 2 bad options you were trying to come for ban for a good map. Or something. You could still get one of the bad maps that you don't like. So, removing, like, map bans could just potentially just make it too close to being a standard match than making it a ranked match. Like, maybe if you want to remove map bans from ranked and put them into standard or something, then sure, why not? But maybe if you want the competitiveness, maybe increase the number of matches played in ranked, because so far ranked is super close to standard already. Just the only real difference is the fact that it is able to ban operators and ban maps is the only reason why it is different. But if you want the competitiveness, maybe add more matches to play. Well, not matches, rounds to play. But yeah.
And save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends May 16th.
To survive, we had to change. Now.
Wow, look at that. Another hot take I agree with, and I'm like one of the biggest people pushing for this as well. Someone said no ACOGs on defense. You guys ready for another 3-minute discussion about that one? So I've already made an entire video about this, but basically the main point I made why I don't think there should be any ACOGs on defense is because over the years, AI
So, yes, I do agree with this, but I also don't agree with this at the same time. You see, some operators are OP with the ACOG because they have the ACOG. But at the same time, pretty useless as well. Say a dock main. We all know how those turn out. They play dock, they go off site, they spawn peak, they try to get kills with their ACOG, and then they instantly get headshot. Not on another person. They get a bullet through right in between their eyes. And they have a new haircut. So that now they're no use to the team because they died and didn't even use one of their stims. And that's where my disagreement comes from. Like, some operators can do the same thing. Spawn peaks are pretty mid. If you do them, you're just pussy. Unless you're on, like, something like match point. But if you do it right off the rip, then you're just a pussy. There's nothing else to it. If you do it right off the rip, first match you're on defense. First ever, 0-0, kills on anyone, 0 deaths on anyone, 0 assists on anyone, right off the rip. You think it's a good idea to go up to a window, break it, spawn peek, and just kill people from the window. You are a pussy and you don't want any competitiveness into it. You want to get the advantage right off the rip. Now, I get it if you're on match point or something, and you're trying to get that extra kick. But doing it right off the rip makes the game not really fun for everyone. Even your own team, really. Because, like, you spawn picking as a dock, like, removes the ability to heal your teammates, make sure your teammates are alive, and can really change the factor of whether you win or lose. Because if you die as dock right away, your entire team has to basically just sit around and do absolutely nothing about it because you're dead. They get low, they're dead, really. They stay low, they can't be healed because you decide you want to spawn pick as dock. Now, here's where my opinion comes from. Like, maybe remove MP5 ACOG from dock. You can keep on Rook you want, because that'll probably increase his pick rate, because removing ACOGs off of Doc's guns and leaving him on Rook would still bring benefit to the team, because if they play Rook, bring his ACOG up, bring his freaking Rook armor, place it down, give everyone their extra 5 health and revive, they're doing something for the team. As for a Doc that spawns peaks, isn't doing absolutely anything but getting themselves killed. Now, let's talk about those Doc mains. If you do spawn peak at any point as Doc, uninstall the game. You are not special. You may be special ed, but you are not special. The only thing you do as spawn peeking as Doc is risk your entire game. If you want to spawn peek with the MP5 or the P90, choose Rook. He has the exact same loadout. Same ACOGs, same primary guns, same P9 pistol, same revolver. The only thing that's different is the secondary gadgets and the bailiff. Because Rook is actually built more for roam than Doc is. Because Rook can just place down his armor and go roam, because he did what he needed to do to help out the team. Now, those people that roam as Doc, you aren't giving shit to the team. You are being picky about your own stats to heal yourself and only use your stems on yourself. You are not playing the game as it's supposed to be played. R6 is a team-based game. A team of 5, you are supposed to help your 4 teammates. Now, with ACOG, some people may be good with. Some guns may be good with. Like, Doc with ACOGs is not that good. He's already very, very good. Maybe remove his ACOGs off of his primary guns and stuff. Give Solus a P90 freaking scope, because she's not really useful really much, in my opinion, but that also might be debatable. But Rook, I feel like he's in a good place with ACOG. He doesn't need to be changed really much, because his gadget really isn't that good, but can still, if he can increase in pick rate because of removing Doc's ACOG. Because of the fact that Rook has the exact same ACOGs, the exact same primary guns, and there's really no difference between them. People just pick Doc so much because they think they can... I don't know what's going on in their minds, really. Well, I know for a fact their bullet is going to go through their minds, but nothing else really much. So yeah, there's my opinion on that, really.
Shown that the player base will gravitate towards a defender, not because of their gadget, but because of the scope they have. It has shown through statistics time and time again across years now that this isn't the case for attackers. The reason being is defense has the advantage by default. So attackers, and when it comes to attacker pick rates, are mainly decided by gadgets first and guns second. Whereas on defense, the general player base tends to gravitate towards an ACOG over an operator's gadget. And it showed that removing the ACOG from an operator would just cause them to pick a different defender who has that ACOG. It went from Warden being the main pick, to Thorn, to Oryx, to Alibi, to Wamai. Now we're in the stage of it being Doc. And if we were to take away Doc's ACOG, everyone would probably just play Echo, Rook, etc. And a big point I did make is that I believe that ACOG stagnates an operator. We've never seen a version of Doc balanced around him not having an ACOG. There could be a version of Doc right.
Now let's see. But the operators that I really don't think should have ACOG, that have ACOG right now, is mainly Doc and Echo. Echo and Doc have really good guns that really need to be nerfed with the ACOG. Now, I do think the P90 is a good gun to have ACOG, and it's pretty balanced. And same with Castle. I think Castle is a good pick for ACOG. Same with Goyo. Frost is a iffy. Frost actually, sure, why not? Frost is a very decent operator to have ACOG. Can't think of anyone else that has ACOG. Fuck. Azami with her shotgun, I know she has ACOG, and that's actually decent ACOG as well. I think it's primarily the fact that they need to remove ACOG off of Echo and Doc, because those operators already have good abilities, good guns, and yeah. Like, all the rest of the operators that have ACOGs on their gun, it's pretty balanced. Like, Cade has his shotgun has an ACOG. Same with Goyo. Goyo has an ACOG on both of their guns. But in the end, they're pretty balanced, with Goyo's gun being high fire rate, low mag. Pretty decent. Cade's gun is also very low mag. And P90 is a fast fire rate, high mag, but it's with the high fire rate, it's a low mag. Now with Thorn's ACOG got removed. I do think maybe it could come back with how bad her gadget is and how easy it is to counter how bad her gun already is with a low mag, low damage. It's not really much of a good gun, per se, in my opinion. I don't see her pick rate really much. I don't really see a Thorn as much. Same with a Solus. If you give Solus a P90 ACOG, maybe her pick rate will increase, because her pick rate didn't really increase at all when her update came out with her ability being reworked and stuff. Well, it didn't get reworked per se, but it did get changed a bit. But yeah, some operators are good with ACOG, some operators need it removed, some ACOGs just need to come into the game.
Now, which is significantly better than his current state, but we'll never know that because the ACOG is such a strong factor of him. We could get a 3-speed Doc with no ACOG with an extra stim. There's so much more you could do to operators such as Rook, such as Doc, such as Echo even, but because they have the ACOG, they are stuck in their current state. I think a good example of this was when Melissa got the ACOG. Yeah, more people played her, but she still kinda sucked. Well, a few updates later, they removed the ACOG once again, gave her the pocket shotgun, an extra Banshee, and she is significantly better than she was before the ACOG, and even when she had the ACOG. She's a much better operator all across the board now. She got the happy ending, but look at Thorn. She's been pretty bad since she released. She's one of the worst defenders in the game. They gave her the ACOG, everyone started playing her, they removed the ACOG, and again, no one plays Thorn, and she never got a buff other than that. It goes to show you that the ACOG is just a temporary band-aid fix for an operator and not a proper buff. If you take the time to actually assess an operator and start buffing other aspects of them, such as their gadget or their loadout or, other aspects which aren't the scope, it has shown that it will do a better long-term effect for that operator. So I think going into Siege X with a clean slate of all ACOGs on attack, no ACOGs on defense is a very good thing. Again, attackers have all had ACOGs since Deadly Omen, I'm pretty sure, and defense is still the favorable side. Removing ACOGs from defense will still make defense the favorable side, and we can actually start giving operators meaningful buffs, and it will finally end the entire reign of balancing of the ACOG. Just a simple rule. All attackers have ACOGs, no defenders have ACOGs. Balance from there. I think it will allow the balance.
See, yeah, I can see the argument there, but at the same time, some guns on defense are not that good, which, as he said, Thorn's pick rate was low when she didn't have ACOG, was high when she did, and when they got removed, just fucking tanked. Tanked down, like, didn't tank up, but tanked down. He got destroyed. So maybe increasing the pick rate with giving her an ACOG could be pretty good. Or making her gun much higher damage, or making her gadget, giving her extra 2 gadgets, so, because her gadgets are pretty mid. They're pretty bad. So maybe giving her 5 would make her much more of a pick rate, because she can place them in different spots, and different things, and they're already easy to really counter by just simply shooting them, running away, or Twitch drone, Thatcher, EMP grenade. Anything can really, a lot of things can counter thorns traps. Every operator can actually counter thorn traps by just running away. But yeah, I do think some operators are good with them, some need to be removed, and yeah.
Balancing team to take
Goes
more
on from
risks.
there.
I think it will allow the balancing team to do more significant updates to operators, and I think it would just be better across the board. I will say, I will allow the exception of like the Bosch G in the ACS-12. I don't think they're oppressive. I think having an ACOG on them is fine because, you know, people aren't going to go crazy with the Bosch G, especially in its current state, because they've nerfed it with the whole drop-off thing, so yeah. Okay, so this one is like a triple in one, and I'll address each point. The first one is saying one-shot headshot needs to go. I disagree. I think one-shot headshot's fine. I wouldn't be against it maybe being nerfed when you're being shot through a wall, and I'm still very on the...
Now, one-shot headshots do need to get reworked, per se. I think for one-shot headshots to count, it has to be directly on the head. Not just right next, like, ear level next to the head, because we can see in the, if you watch the R6 movie, Ash gets hit by Callie in the ear, doesn't freaking get eliminated, just gets hit in the ear. But when you do that in the game, it kills them instantly. I think the hitbox for their head needs to be a bit reworked and re-specialized. And because I shouldn't have to see the enemy's crosshair being clear across the map in my head and the headshot counter on the wall, and while I'm in the complete opposite corner, because they have horrendous fucking aim. The amount of times that I've seen that shit is fucking, oh my god. But yeah, one-shot headshot needs to be reworked. I don't think it's really, it's more, it adds realism to the game with one-shot headshot. Mechanics. But it does need reworked with the hitbox, because sometimes you hit just to the left of their head and it still counts, even though realistically it should not really count. I know it's kind of hard to get hitboxes directly, but I shouldn't need to see like 5 inches off my head, and it still count as brain shot. And sometimes when it's just below onto my chest, it still counts as a headshot too, because it just barely hits the hitbox to the head. That counts. Like, I think you need to like make the hitbox to the head like maybe like slightly smaller than the head, like cut off the ears or so through it, and like cut off like some of the neck to it. The hitbox should not proceed into the chest hitbox and should not like exceed 5 inches past the head, per se. But yeah, one-shot headshots should just stay in the game.
Cusp with that, it's like something I'd maybe like to see in a test server, but like just blatant one-shot headshot, no, that shouldn't be removed in my opinion at all. I heavily disagree with that. I think one-shot headshot has a fine place in the game. Again, like I just mentioned, maybe sometimes with like bullet penetration through walls, I'd like to maybe potentially play around the idea of just lowering the multiplier there when there is a foreign aspect involved with it now being a wall, but just blatant one-shot headshot should still exist in Siege, in my honest opinion. The next one, TDM meta fix. Honestly, don't know what you want Ubisoft to do there. The game is at its slowest ever, and I mean that in a good way. Ubisoft have obviously been trying very hard to go against the TDM meta for the past few years now. I think the biggest issue here is that people don't actually know what a TDM meta is. Someone will see an Ashe run into sight and they'll be like, oh, we're in a TDM meta. When in reality, defense have just done an absolutely dogshit job of setting up that side of the bomb site that an attacker has been able to exploit a weakness and walk straight into sight. That's not a TDM meta, that's exploiting the weakness of your enemy, and that is a failure of the defense. People don't really know what a TDM meta is. A TDM meta would be 5 operators going into the site, not shooting any utility, not using any of their utility, and just using their guns every single round. You can do that in some cases because defenders haven't set up the site correctly. That's not Ubisoft's fault, that's just bad players. And on the flip side, some defenders may be playing in a bit of a TDM style. Well, remove ACOGs from defense. There's your fix right there. I just think TDM meta is a buzzword which has been thrown around and people don't actually know what they're saying when they say that. But yeah, I don't think we're in a TDM meta. I just think people just have to play the game better. And finally, talking about cheaters, I mean, yeah, we all want cheaters gone. It's not just an issue in
TDM doesn't need removed, doesn't need anything really, because that's just something the game doesn't really control per se. And then cheaters, I don't even need to make an argument with that.
Siege is an issue in every game. I mean, remember when Valorant was like praised for having the best anti-cheat, and now that game has a bunch of cheaters in it? It's an industry issue. It's an issue that will never be solved. And of course you can get better at countering it, but it's an always uphill battle for every single company. And I will give Ubisoft their credit. I've had chances to meet the anti-cheat team, and you can see the work that they are doing. I mean, one of the biggest cheat providers shut down because of the work that anti-cheat were doing and the anti-cheat team were doing was that significant that it was becoming too hard for the major cheat provider to continue to support their cheats for Rainbow Six Siege. So I think Shield Guard, which is R6's anti-cheat, which you can see now on the loading screen for SiegeX, is doing more than ever. They're putting in the efforts. You can tell that they're putting in the efforts, and I genuinely think they are trying their best, and I can tell you that they're trying their best. It's an uphill battle. So like, yeah, I agree. I would also like less cheaters, but it's just the victim of the platform we play on. There's people out there, there's money to be made, people are going to cheat, you know? Right, let's talk about Rank 2.0, because this is...
I need you to trust me. One last time.
El 9 a 5 quedó atrás. Es hora del happy hour. Dejemos que este señor disfrute de su Popeyes.
This is probably the biggest thing in the community and like the biggest issue with Rainbow Six Siege from a community standpoint at this point. I think their best move at this stage would just be to go back to Rank 1.0.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't truly understand how Rank 2...
Oh, fuck yes. I want that to happen. Go back to Ranked 1.0, even though I never played in it, but I've seen it. And I know how fucked up Ranked 2.0 is, where I'm in copper lobbies because Ranked 2.0, I just play Ranked once or twice every freaking season, every single freaking year or so. Or every update, really. I play Ranked like every once in a while, so I'm stuck in freaking copper. I'm not advancing anywhere from there, because all it really is me getting queued with like 20 times my level. Or even that, I'm getting put with the enemy team being cheaters in the game, because the cheat system is just all over the place. And then again, like, it's hard to rank up with how the current rank system is going. It's kind of hard to rank up because you're instantly getting put into, like, newer players are getting instantly put up against champions when they first join ranked. They're not going people of their level of skill, so they're not going to be able to learn. They're not going to be able to rank up. They're not going to be able to really learn more aspects of the game, more strategizing. They're not going to learn along the way. If they were to go against their own level and their own rank and go with their own rank, then yeah, they'll be able to learn. They'll be able to rank up fast, and yeah, because not everyone has friends. Some people have to solo queue or duo or triple. They don't have a full stack of 5 most of the time. So yeah, that is a change that needs to be had.
2.0 works, but I don't think that matters. I think the publicity of Rank 2.0 has been that bad at this point that you should just cut your losses and go back to Ranked 1.0 at this rate. Like, I think that is the wise thing to do. The reason why I say I don't think a lot of people truly understand how Rank 2.0 works is because they'll be like, oh, I'm a platinum, why is there a bronze in my lobby? And people don't understand hidden MMR, and it has affected Rank 2.0's sort of perception because of this, because that person who is bronze is at the same skill level as you, because your visual rank is a progression, but you're playing at people who are at your skill level. So I will say Rank 2.0 actually did give you fairer lobbies, believe it or not. In the old rank system, if you were a plat playing against a bronze, you were a plat playing against a bronze. In the current system, if you were a plat playing against a bronze, you were two hidden MMR platinums playing against each other. Even from your very first rank game to your final rank game of the season, you would always be playing in your skill level. Whereas in Ranked 1.0, you would start from a unranked sort of era where you were playing against players doing your placement matches, and it was a bit more out of whack, and you would end up playing against people who were legitimately not at your skill level. Now, do I think Ranked 2.0 is perfect? No, not at all. But I do also think that majority of people don't actually know what they're complaining about or know what they're talking about when they are critiquing Ranked 2.0. They see a visual rank, they think, okay, this person's bronze, they must be a bronze player. Why is there a bronze on my team? Rank 2.0 is shit. But like, just think about it yourself. We all start from copper. When you're in bronze, progressing your way up to diamond and champion, are you a bronze player? Yes or no? You see what I mean? So people seemingly just didn't grasp the idea of the whole hidden MMR and visual rank system, and it's just leading people to say, oh, well, this person is the rank which is shown.
Yeah. Like, that is a thing, but along with the whole system of putting you with the current rank that they are seen as can cause controversy, which is it. You could be put into copper, and a champion that was a champion last season or last year's ranked got champion or got diamond or got emerald last season, is starting up a ranked game and already like did all the training and stuff to get prepared for that. You're gonna be put with them, which is kind of not fair for, say, a person that just got ranked level 50. Boom, they're dead instantly. They're not gonna be getting elo. They're not gonna get anything from that match. They're not gonna learn much. They're going against someone that's higher than them. Yes, should you be like maybe going against like slightly higher than you to get a challenge? Sure, why not? But it shouldn't be like 20 levels above you. At most, it should be just above you. Like maybe a copper 5 going up against copper 1. Or a copper 5 going against a bronze 5. Like maybe going up a little bit from the people you're going against. Sure, why not? Because they're high. It's slightly bit better than you, but that gives you a challenge. Not someone that's like, let's not have a person that's just starting out just starting up Siege for the first time ever. It's just starting up their first ranked game because they just hit level 50 going against fucking Sploit
on their profile, which is a fair complaint as well, that why wouldn't someone with a visual rank of bronze be a bronze? So yeah, that's what I mean. Rank 2.0 isn't perfect. But yeah, at this rate, just go back to Rank 1.0 or find a nice middle ground, because I don't think there's going to be an outcome where anyone is satisfied with Rank 2.0. And if you just revert everything to Rank 1.0 and people still complain, at least then you can just go, well, we tried to change it, you didn't like it, here's your rank system, enjoy. So yeah, leave Rank 2.0 behind. It's fine. I don't hate Rank 2.0, but everyone else does, so just why not cut off your losses and just go back to Rank 1.0. I think that's just the best move going forward. I didn't hate 1.0, I didn't hate 2.0. My experience may be different to yours since I remained at the highest rank between both rank systems. I will say, yeah, I probably did have a lot of harder games in 1.0, but I've also had a lot of harder games in 2.0. But yeah, think from like a marketing standpoint, a player-based perception standpoint, it just makes sense to go back to 1.0 at this point. Cut your losses, jump back to the old rank system, and just see how it goes. Someone says bring back drop shotting. I don't think they should bring back drop shotting, but I would like to see them bring back reverse drop shotting, which is like remaining on ADS when you're going from prone to standing rather than going from standing to prone, because that's way harder to exploit, and it just makes proning a pain in the ass a lot of the time. So I'd actually kind of like if like reverse drop shotting was a thing, but no, don't bring back drop shotting. That's kind of annoying. Bring back custom profile pics on Ubisoft. Yes, please. I don't know why they didn't do that. They said that like the reason they removed custom profile pics was because people were like putting bad images. Then I don't know, regulate your images. Don't make us all pay for it. I've got my old logo. I want to put my new logo as my profile pic. Yeah, that really annoys me. Bring back the old ones. I know that's just like a bit of a wah complaint, but come on. Watermelon says, leave behind the UI, it needs to become more tactical. I get what you mean. I think Siege X's UI does look a bit more tactical than this current UI. I would like to see it keep going a bit forward. I would like to see the return of the old icon style where they had more detail. I think that just fit Siege a bit more and fit the grittiness of the game a bit more. But yeah, they are definitely changing the UI already for Siege X. They're changing the sort of art style, and I think that's something that they should continue going forward. I mean, when you load up Siege X, which you will be able to do next month, you'll see what I mean. Like, the menu is still bright, it is still flashy, but it does also have more of darkened colors. You know, the menu is a bit darker. The colors, the team colors at the top are a darker version. It's like a darker gradient. It has that Siege feel, but they are trying to go for the more darker, grittier, more grounded feel, which I do appreciate. And I definitely think they can still expand upon it, but I agree with you, and I think Ubisoft agree with you as well. Right, a lot of people talked about night maps returning as well. I would love to see night maps returning. I think with the new graphic system, it would look absolutely beautiful.
Oh, fuck yes.
I'm not going to ramble on about this because I talk about how much I like night maps all the time. I agree. I don't think it will happen. I think they're beautiful. Yeah, I would love to see a nighttime version of Coastline. I would like to see a nighttime version of Nighthaven Labs. I mean, it's called Nighthaven. Come on! Yeah, I'd love to see this. This guy says, add a toggle for players that turns off all the shitty outfits that don't fit the setting. They'll never do this because if people have an option to turn off custom outfits, then no one will buy skins, which just plummets the entire ecosystem of an online FPS game. I mean, the COD community have this exact same complaint right now. Oh, well, can we have a toggle to turn off the custom skins? They'll never do it. They make too much money from it. If people know that they're buying a skin, which the other team probably has turned off, they won't buy it. It's weird. I agree. I kind of wish this was an option sometimes as well, but they'll never do it, so... And I understand why they wouldn't do it. Also, your profile pic is fucking hilarious. Bro's got the Doctor House Elite skin. That shit had me creased, bro. But yeah, what's something that you would like to see Ubisoft leave in Rainbow Six Siege going into Siege X? Do you agree with anything I said? Disagree? You're welcome to. That's what the comment section's...
Now, something I would love to have, per se, in a normal game mode to come into Siege X. I know we're getting a new game mode already, but something I would love to see in the future of Siege is like an actual... Like, we all know that Siege is a anti-terrorism, like, thing, and I know we had the whole attack on Hempford thing, and we're having the new 6v6 mode thing there, kind of like it, but I feel like we should get a game mode where you are actually put in a situation like terrorism, like having to, like, go and arrest, go and, like, do things. That will change up Siege a lot. In this situation, like, have actual, like, a whole new game mode and stuff put into the game. I know we had the whole white mask thing, or whatever the fuck they were called, I forget already. Have those things back, but I know that was kind of hard to keep up with and stuff, and we got that replaced with AI. But I think with AI should have, like, a lot more operators too. Like, a lot of operators aren't really that hard to put into AI. So yeah, Those are some changes I think should come in. But yeah, that'll do for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed.